Okay,
Jesse,
there we are.
how are you?
Not too bad. I snuck in there.
Somebody snuck in here. We got the premiere. So, he just announced, your minister just announced his budget. How do you feel?
I feel actually very good, not only about today, certainly Minister Higgs and the whole team here, the many people that have worked on the budget have done an outstanding amount of work over the last year. And I think one of the messages today with the budget is it's about balance. It's about living within our means, but it's also still about investing in the most important priorities of New Brunswickers. The work that we've done over the last year through government renewal, through bringing business practices to government, real accountability, through reaching out to New Brunswickers through all the different meetings and the website, emails, different things, I think has really allowed us to present a budget that I believe is good for New Brunswick in the long term.
What did you say to people that says, I was up front there, that say that you didn't listen to New Brunswickers, or you listened to the rich and not the poor? What are you going to say about that?
Well, if you look at some of the most important initiatives that we've brought forward in the budget, it's investing in pay equity, as an example.
I hear that.
The initial investments in within the public sector and a number of private sector women-dominated positions that have been evaluated, to see those initial investments, to see the announcement of more investments in affordable housing, to see the more investments in early childhood development, to name a few, I believe show our focus that we need to deal with the fiscal realities and get our spending under control so that we can reinvest some of that money in the things that are most important to New Brunswickers.
Did I hear something about the bus? You want to have a different style of busing the kids to school?
What we've said is we want to look and explore any opportunities that we can find efficiencies, ultimately, so that we can reinvest it in the classroom. So, and busing or transportation is a very important part of ensuring our children have access to school, and we realize that. But again, we want to look to see, continue, how can we find efficiencies and
Contract it out, or?
Look, what has been done in the past, as an example, in my area, they've done a lot of work to find and streamline the bus routes. In my area over the last year, there used to be 2 bus runs in the afternoon. Now there's only 1 bus run. So those are examples of what if there have been things done in different parts of New Brunswick. We need to look at the whole system.
Education, is there any cuts there, or is parents that had kids with autism, do they have to worry? Or?
So what our first thing that we've already announced is that we're going to reduce the number of school districts down to 7 school districts in the province. That will allow us again to refocus, take some of the money we've been spending on administration and reinvest it in educating our children. One of the things that I'm very proud of, and there will be more information in the coming weeks, is we're going to be investing $2.5 million this year on inclusion, on inclusive education. And I think that's a very strong message that, number one, as a province, we're an inclusive province, that every child has the right to be educated to their full potential. And so we're going to be, we've done a lot of work in the last year to prepare for this investment, and we'll be coming forward with new investments.
Does that mean at any cost put any kids in all the same classroom at any cost? The
way that our system works now is we ensure that our children have an opportunity to learn, and that's why, as an example, teacher assistants do outstanding work in our school system to allow children to be able to be educated to their full potential. we need to continue to allow children to have that opportunity. You know, my two children have both gone through the public school system in Woodstock, and Woodstock's been very progressive. And they have both benefited by having disabled children in their classroom, and they've grown as human beings because of that. So I see the opportunity for us to grow as a society with it.
There's a little confusion up front in front of the legislature with the union. How many jobs are we going to lose with this budget?
Well,
is it 1,400?
We don't
4,000?
We don't target a specific number. What we've said is, right now, because of attrition, you know, the demographics of our public service is older. Right now, on average, there are about 1,500 people that are retiring or making a decision to leave government every year. So what we will do is evaluate every position when someone leaves, and what we will do is only refill the essential positions. So we believe that's a responsible way to reduce the number of within the public service. At the same time, as we look to find efficiencies and new ways of doing things, where people are impacted by, if we make a decision to do it in a different way or not do something, then we will be very proactive and continue to work with people on redeployment, on retraining, or on finding other opportunities within the public service. So what we believe is we can find savings of $86 million over the next 3 years.
So how many jobs exactly we're talking about, do you know?
Again, we're not focused on specific jobs, what we're doing. We know there are about 1,500 jobs a year just in attrition. There will be a number of the jobs that will need to be, there will need to be people rehired, but there will be ones that will make sense not to, and that's where we're going to focus.
Healthcare, any cuts, lots of cuts?
We're going to continue to grow our investments in healthcare. That's the first thing, and we've made commitments that we will increase spending in health services by 3% minimum each year. That will continue to be the case this year. As an example, we announced that there will be increases in primary health care changes. And you know, I know we've heard talk of the clinics in the greater Fredericton area. Those are the types of things, multidisciplinary clinics offering people service to primary health care professionals, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, social workers, etc., in a collaborative way. So those types of changes will be coming forward. We will continue to look for efficiencies within the system, because what we can do, if we can find ways to better purchase equipment or services and goods within the system, then we can take those savings and reinvest in things like mental health strategies or things like diabetes strategies.
Welfare didn't go up. The cost of living goes up, but the welfare rate don't go up. Affordable housing, you made some investment there, I guess. But how come the rate of welfare didn't go up?
We're investing in other things as well. As an example, with the social networking corporations across the province, in terms of monies that can be, the decision is taking locally to invest in strategic areas. There have been decisions within the social assistance on policy that have better allowed people to access social assistance over the last year. So we'll continue to focus on that. Right now, we're doing an assessment on social assistance rates long term. At the same time, we're in the interim, we're providing access to emergency home heating needs. We're investing in affordable housing or increasing affordable housing, early childhood development. Minimum wage rates are going up in early April, as an example. Pay equity investments. So it's a broad-based approach, and that's where we believe that we need to be going.
No height DHSD, no tolls, No hike in gas?
No hike in personal income tax. There is a hike in a type of capital tax on the largest financial institutions in New Brunswick. So we'll see $5 million gain from that. And that's one of the examples where we have increased revenues.
And you're still holding your promise for the rate and be power?
Yes.
You're
Yes,
not going to
and
break that
actually
promise?
that's- No, have no intention to. And actually, that's one of the other positive things for people, especially on low income, that we're able to hold the electricity rates at 0% increase over the next 3 years.
So you're proud, if you were leader of the opposition, what would you complain about? This
Look,
budget?
there will always be complaints, and it's if we had an endless pot of money, we could do all sorts of things. But what we've worked very hard over the last year is to start the change in culture of government, to ensure people are getting good value for their taxpayer dollar, and at the same time that we focus on having the services people need the most, the core services, the things most important. And that's I feel very good about finding that balance with this budget. There will always be individuals can find a reason why they're not going to support something, but I feel very good about the overall package.
Mr. Premier, thank you very much.
No problem.